Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. My name is Daphne, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my top picks for Chrome extensions. These extensions are easily added to your computer, and they're ones that I personally love to use and ones that I recommend to my parents. So let's get started. So the first Chrome extension that I'm going to share with you is called Google Translate. And this extension has definitely made my life as a teacher so much easier. This Google Chrome extension allows me to communicate with my students that are new to Canada and help me deliver what I need to tell them. It also allows me to keep my communication open with parents as simple as a click of a button. So let's get started. The first Chrome extension that I'm going to be sharing with you is called Google Translate. And this extension was introduced to me by my CERT this year, specifically for one of my students that is new to Canada and is learning the English language. Her first language is Vietnamese. So let me walk you through this amazing extension that I use daily. And honestly, I don't think my day would go as smoothly as it does if I didn't have this Chrome extension. So I've opened up National Geographic for Kids. It's something that I do use within my classroom when my students are researching animals. And basically, it will translate the English text to the student's first language. Highlighted the part that read, and right now it is in English. And you have two options. You could either translate the page that you're looking at, or you can open it up in Google Translate. And I like to open it up in Google Translate. I also suggest that to my student whenever they're using this Chrome extension. It will open it up on the left side in the English language, and then it will translate it to the language that you want it to. So here it is in Vietnamese. The student also has the option to listen to it in English, they want to do first. And then after, they can listen to it in their first language, which I find dual purpose. It helps them not only develop their English language skills, but also reinforce what the English is telling them in their first language. And the nice thing about this Chrome extension is look at all the languages that you can translate to. So this comes in extremely helpful when students are researching, when students are reading information or reading books online. It can translate it. I also like to have it right on my phone. So this is the part that shows up on my phone. So my CERT also suggested it that I download it on my phone, and my student has it on their phone as well. And basically when we get stuck or I'm trying to communicate to her in English, basically we'll type it. For example, sometimes I will say to her, please take out your language folder and turn to the page you were working on yesterday. You can have it translated in Vietnamese, and basically you can even have the student listen to it. That's how I do it in my class. I basically will use my Google Translate. I will communicate in English what I'd like her to do, or if I'm explaining something to her. And then instead of me giving her my phone, especially during these times, you don't want people touching your phone or touching items. I just put it on the speaker, and she listens to what I'm asking of her, and she will do the same thing for me. This is so helpful. It really does assist me with not having to book translators, not having to seek out other students might know the same first language. It's just really easy, it's accessible, it's immediate. I can talk to the student in their first language and communicate what I'm teaching. It also, other thing that it will allow you to do, document that I provide to my students, those ones that I totally translate in the language of the students, and I will share it on Google Drive. and that way she can follow along in her first language. I like to provide both, so I'll do the English language on one side and then the translated version on the back. Doing it because we want our students to all be successful and follow along, because the last thing you want a student to be doing is looking in thin air, going like, what's going on here? So really, really hard to do it beforehand and translate the material that she needs so that way she can follow along. Of course, I have great support from my CERT people at my school. I'm very fortunate, and I say that very proudly, because it does take a lot of time to translate worksheets or translate parts of the worksheet for them to be able to follow along. And again, this is free, easy to access, easy to download, and you can pretty much translate any language easily, and it just makes it for a more inclusive way to communicate, not only with students, but I've also had to walk down with my phone at the end of the day or first thing in the morning and type up something that I want the parent to know, and it's just so convenient for parents and teachers to be able to communicate. I don't know about you guys, but I remember not that long ago that I would have to pre-book for translators for my students for just simple things, i.e., explaining to them what the routines are, or to please bring snack to school because it's not a common thing from the country that they've arrived from. So it's just a wonderful Chrome extension that can come in so useful. The next extension is called Duelist, and I absolutely love this extension for my students. My students now have the ability to split their monitor into 2 monitors. This allows them to be documenting on one side and typing away, and then on the right screen of their monitor, they can be Google searching for information on the topic that they are looking at. So let's get started and look at all the different preferences that you can have when changing your monitor from a 1 monitor to a 2 monitor. Let's get started. So the next Chrome extension that I am loving is called Duelist. It allows them to divide their monitor into 2 monitors. It's free, so students do not have to pay for this, which is absolutely lovely. Use it on their own device that they bring to school or devices at home while they're doing work at home for homework. It takes your screen and it divides it. So you have an option to divide it how you wish. So this is strictly preference. For me personally, I do like the 6:4 option. A choice, you could do it either horizontally or vertically and have 2 screens looking at. And I found this to be so helpful. It allows you to have 2 working screens side by side. See both of them at the same time is so important for students because it allows them to not have to flick back and forth using their tabs. Also avoids students from getting distracted. So say they were working on a document and they were doing some research on, let's say, electricity, and they're writing on this side. This is their document, and right here they can research. And they can find the information so visually appealing. So they can add what they're looking for, add the information from the web to their document. And I just find it is so much easier for students, especially students that struggle with staying on task and being focused. This just prevents them from getting distracted or even getting frustrated for that matter. I know a lot of students that I've had, always say to me, it's so hard to remember which tab open and which one is the right one. Sometimes I actually find students clicking the X and getting out of the tab. And this Chrome extension just allows students to really stay focused and have the option to have two screens open at the same time where they can see it. Very open to students, adjusting it to their needs. I personally like this one. I rather have a little bit more on my document than on the search engine. But yeah, this is a great extension for students. It just overall helps them stay focused. Doing two things at once is just visually, it's more appealing. It's doesn't waste time because you're not flicking back and forth, and it definitely helps students stay focused on what they're working on at the time without having to get distracted by going to other tabs on their toolbar. The next Chrome extension is called Grammarly, and this is a writing assistant tool that does an amazing job at reviewing writing. Students can not only improve with their spelling, but it also allows them to take a closer look at their grammar. This amazing extension highlights different areas of their writing and gives suggestions on how they can improve. So let's take a closer look at it. So the next Chrome extension that I really love having on my own computer, and of course for my students to use, is the Chrome extension Grammarly. And Grammarly is an assistant for writing. It is free, and of course you can upgrade. You get the premium plan. They run deals all the time, but it's really not necessary. You can just use the regular Grammarly and do everything that you need to do. It gives you a score out of 100, and the program asks you what your writing will be for. You have three options when you download the Chrome extension. It'll ask you, is it for school, work, or other? So it really tailors towards what you're using the program for. I always say school is usually for school purposes. So some of the examples of what Grammarly will help you do is it will correct your spelling, your grammar, how clear your communication is, and it also will read you your work, which is lovely. Allow students to catch their mistakes, because a lot of times my students will miss things that are incorrect with their writing. Once they hear it, they automatically understand that it just doesn't make sense and they have to correct it. So for example, I already have Grammarly downloaded on my computer, so it indicates what is incorrect by that little red underline. So when you click on it, it shows you writing should be. So you basically click on it and it will correct it. And the thing that I really like about this, it corrects your grammar. So for students that are struggling with writing or they are new to the country, it assists them with their grammar, which is probably more difficult for them to self-correct than their actual spelling. So you click on that and it will even do commas for you. And up here in the top here, that little purple circle with the arrow, when you click that, so it will read your work back to you. And here's an example.
The Happy Cat. Once upon a time, there was a cat who lived with an amazing family.
And the nice thing about this is that you don't have to download it or use another program for it to read it back to you. It just kind of does it for you. So it is really, really convenient. It's very helpful for students who are working on improving their writing through focusing on spelling and grammar. And it's great for students to be able to see their errors as they are writing and correct them as they progress through their writing in real time. So it's very, very convenient, easy to use, and it's just another tool for students to have at their fingertips when they are writing, trying to ensure that their writing not only is correctly done,
through their spelling, but also through grammar.
The next extension is called One Tab, and my students definitely needed something like this to help them with organizing all the tabs that they tend to open up on their toolbar. This extension organizes the different tabs in a list format for you to look at and reference. It's easy. It allows you to not become overwhelmed with all the different tabs that you open up while you are doing various things on your computer. So let's take a closer look at this amazing One Tab extension.
So the next Chrome extension that I absolutely love is called One Tab. And this Chrome extension, if you've ever had students in your classroom that when they're using technology and they have a lot of different tabs open at the top of their toolbar, this is the extension that's a must. This extension allows you to organize all your tabs under one big tab. List format. It saves up to 95% of your memory and reduces tab clutter, which I absolutely love. I love the whole idea that it will save me my memory. So this is great for students who become overwhelmed with the toolbar. I did speak about this earlier, how a lot of my students, when they're researching, they'll have a ton of tabs open at the top of their toolbar, and then they get frustrated because they can't read it properly, or they just don't remember what tab is what. So this is a great tab to help them have them all organized in a list format and be able to access them really simple and easily. So let me show you. So I have right now about 4 or 5 tabs open at the top of my toolbar. And when I go to One Tab, these are all the tabs that I had open earlier on top of my toolbar, and now they are nicely organized under one tab. So when you want to access it, all you have to do is go to it and click on it, and then it will bring you to the tab. It'll open it up at the top there, and all you have to do is press on it. And again, if you want to put it back in your tab, you can. And then you go to the next one and they'll open the next one for you. It's just a really nice way to organize things that you're using and have everything nicely located in one area where you can easily read it. And you have some things at the top here. It says restore all, so I can restore all of my tabs. So you can restore all, you can delete all, you can share as a web page, or you can even name this tab group. So it gets really intense with organizing your different tabs. I personally just use it just while I am searching for things, if I'm lesson planning or if my students are researching on the web and they just want to clear the top of their toolbar so it's nice and neat and clear from clutter, they can put it in one tab. So this is, again, a great organizing extension where students that are looking and researching for things, instead of having all their tabs open at the top, where it can get really difficult to remember what tab it is, or they start getting really small and just hard to manage, you can use this extension to organize it in a list format for students to use.
The next extension is a fun extension. I love this extension and my students absolutely adore it as well. It allows you to personalize your pointer on your computer while you're writing with different images that are provided through the extension. It is fun, it makes your pointer look interesting, it adds a little splash of personality. There's a variety of images that they allow you to use, and not only that, but you can upload your own image. It could be your pet, it can be something, image that you've taken that just motivates you. So it's something that's fun, and it's something that hopefully can motivate your students with regards to using their computer and encourage them to write on the computer. So let's take a closer look at the different images that they provide on this extension.
Chrome extension is just really cute and fun for students to have. And it basically, you can customize your cursor according to your personal taste. So right now I'm going to go to cursor, and it allows you to pick what you want your cursor to look like. So you can have a watermelon. So when you are pointing to items on your computer, on your toolbar, or when you are clicking things, it will show up. So right now it is a watermelon. Kids just love this. It just makes it interesting. You can upload your own pictures if you want, or you can select from the ones they offer for free. And again, it's cute. Nice way for students to personalize their cursor and make it lots of fun. And I know for my students, they get really creative. Some of them will upload their face or their pet. That's another very popular one. They'll use their pet as the cursor. And again, it's free, it's fun. It just keeps things interesting for the students. So then while they're working with their technology, it's more like a personal thing that made themselves on their computer.
The next extension is called Mercury Reader, and this extension allows you to declutter and remove all the distractions from a web page. I have found this Chrome extension to be so beneficial with my students because it takes away them getting distracted from all the advertising that might pop up while they are researching different topics in class or at home. So let's take a closer look at what a great extension this is with regards to helping you focus and get you working instead of clicking on other things that might pop up on a web page that you're looking at.
Next Chrome extension called Mercury Reader. And Mercury Reader is a Chrome extension that allows you to remove all the distractions from a web page. So I have come to a web page, for example, Kid Facts on the topic of facts. And your students, when they're looking at this, all the distractions that are on this page, when you use the Chrome extension, it will take the information from the previous web page and it just makes it beautifully clean. Allows for students to really focus in and not get distracted by anything that might be on the web page that they don't need to look at or they don't need to read. So it's very clean and really easy to follow along and read. As you can tell, it just beautifully formats it, free of any clutter. And it just allows students to focus in on the material that they're reading about. Just at a click of a button, you can take something that is a web page that is very cluttered and turn it into a very clean document for your students to use. And Chrome extension is excellent for students that get easily distracted or students that might have learning disabilities, or even students that have ADHD and they have a really hard time just focusing on the material that they need to instead of clicking other things that they might come across on the web page. Fantastic Chrome extension for students when using the web browsers to find and research information.
This next extension is called Specify, and this extension allows students to listen to text read to them. This extension is so helpful for students that are struggling with their reading or students that are new to the English language. It also allows you to personalize the voice to what you like to hear and allows students to listen to their writing and be able to catch any grammatical errors that they might have. So let's take a look in what extension allows you to do a little bit further.
Extension that can be really helpful for students to use is called Specify. And this extension is a great extension because it allows students to listen to text read to them. You can select the voice, and it is really as simple as just clicking the button. The amazing thing about this is it allows students to listen to text that might be too difficult for them, that they might come across while searching on the web. It's great for students that might be ELL students that are still learning the English language. And it's fantastic for students focusing their attention on text while they read on the web. So I'll just give you a quick little example. This little window pops up on your screen. You click on the Chrome extension and it will read the text. So let's give it a go.
It's powering technology like our cell phones, computers, lights, soldering irons, and air conditioners. It's tough to escape it in our modern world. Even when you try to escape electricity, it's still at work throughout nature.
This Chrome extension also is fantastic because it allows students to have their own work read to them. This helps improve their writing and focus on their grammar while they are listening to the program reading their work to them. So they can pick any part of the text for it to read. All you have to do is move this little circle arrow button, and you can put it where you desire on the sentence that you want it to read easily by just moving your mouse. So again, this is a fantastic Chrome extension. It really does help with reading and improving students' reading. And it also allows them to feel included if they are students that might be reading below grade level and they are researching on the web or they're working in a group. They can use this Chrome extension to participate more without feeling like they can't read as well as the other students in their groups. So this is a fantastic Chrome extension for reading, for students that struggle for reading, for improving their own personal writing by hearing it from someone and them listening to how they have written their work.
My final extension for today is called Noisely, and I came across this extension because I love different noises, and I find my students love different noises. Sometimes I see them tapping or flicking their pencils. They just seem to really like noises. So I had to find something that would complement this. So this Chrome extension allows you to pick different background noises that you can listen to while they are working on different things during class time. This will be a game changer for you because you don't have to screen it. It is safe. It is appropriate. You don't have to check the lyrics or check who the song is written by. It's just a really nice way for students to have something to listen to that will help them relax and focus without having to worry it's not appropriate. So this Chrome extension has a variety of different sounds. My favorite is the thunder. I love thunder. But you can personalize it and make your own playlist. So let's take a closer look at all the different sounds that you can create a playlist for yourself and see what else it can do.
Next extension that I really like is called Noisely. And Noisely is a listening background of sounds that allows students to help them focus. I know a lot of students love listening to their own music while they are working, and this is a great alternative for that. This offers 16 sounds and 1.5 hours a day of free streaming. There are 3 different playlists, provides within a time limit of 1.5 hours a day. It allows you to create your own playlist. It has background noises. You can set a timer for how long you want to hear it, and some sounds can help you focus and calm down. You can select different sounds. So for example, here is the board that you are using when you use the extension. At the top is the time. Set your time, how long you want it. And then you can pick what the focus is. Is it productivity? Is it random? Or is it to relax? The one below the relax one, the noise blocker, that is an upgrade. But like I've mentioned before, you don't need the upgrade. I use this and I've never had to upgrade. The only thing I can say is the amount of time that it allots you. At first I thought it was unlimited, but I quickly realized that it is not. So if it's something you really enjoy having and it really does help you, you do have the option to upgrade. But say for example, you just want to relax, like you have a student that might be a fidgeter and they need to somehow relax in order to complete their work, and music is something that really helps them. This, you don't have to screen it because there's no lyrics, and that's what I love about this extension. You don't have to worry about inappropriate songs that students might be listening to. It's just basic sounds, background noises that they can hear. So here's an example. You can listen to birds, thunder and rain, or this is just rain. Then you can add some thunder in the background and some wind. So it gets really, you can get really creative, and students can get really creative and just personalize it. So while they're working, they can have sounds in the background. I have seen students really benefit from using this Chrome extension. It just makes it so much easier for them to stay on task while they are working on material during independent time. And there's productivity, and again, there's other ones that you can include. So there's a fan. It's just really, really cool. And then you have your timer at the top that keeps track. The only downfall to this website is it doesn't give you a whole lot of time a day to use it. So you do have to really be mindful of that, especially for students that really, really benefit from using this extension. They might want to really time it out when they're using it in the day and where it helps them the most. This Chrome extension can be also a great extension for students to help them calm down. Students that might have difficulty once they are experiencing any meltdowns. This could really benefit them because you can really personalize it to their sounds that help them de-escalate.
So those are my top Chrome extensions that I love using and recommend to parents and students. Until next time, hit the like button, subscribe, and keep on teaching.